The home of the Westby Norsemen, where they will be taking on the visiting Benton Scales Mound Schulzberg team, traveling from, well, Dan, way down towards the southern part of the state. I'm Dave Gluck along with Dan Grass as we bring you this first game of Norseman football home game. They played last week down in Richland Center and looked really good against a very young Richland Center football team. But Richland Center, I think they'll be a team in the next couple of years that they have a lot to build on, put it that way. A lot of young kids playing for them that did a nice job with just extremely young. Tonight, it might be a little bit the same story as Westby is extremely fast. They're very strong. They're very experienced. And Benton Scales Mound, they have about 25, 26 kids suited up. And that's going to become a long night probably for them. But we'll see. You got to let it play out. They've got some kids with some good size. 265, 240, 220. A couple guys are 225. And a lot of guys in that 180, 190 range. So I guess we'll see how it plays out tonight. Westby led tonight by quarterback Blake Sutton, and in the backfield you'll have Rhett Stensling, who's been a 3-year starter. He's a 4-year starter now. And back at that halfback slot, you'll see Brady Mowry and Joey Ellefson doing a lot of the work. Also a key for Westby is their kick and punt return with Anders Stockstone back there. Dan, he just lit it up last week. He had 2 kickoff returns, and he had a punt return that was called back on a penalty.
Really?
Extremely fast, and he's got great vision. It was really fun to watch him go. So if any teams are watching, the key is not to kick to him.
Yeah, I see you had 5 total touchdowns. It's a good day at the office for the junior, I believe, correct?
A junior, a high school kid, yeah.
He had a nice year last year. Had a lot of big plays last year, I remember as well.
Yeah, and he's not a big kid, but he has got some great speed. Well, Westby coached by Andy Hulst. I was trying to think how many years he's been here. Quite a few. Ken Halverson, John Hamilton, Jared Fleming, Tyler Fertig, Alex Gluck, Rob Kerner, Justin Brown assisting. And for head coach for Benton Scales Mound Schulzberg is Eric Kadronowitz. And he is assisted by Kyle Kern, Kevin Durr, Cody Schnitzler, Dylan Redfern, Joel Line, Todd Bastian, and Matt Wiederholt. Well, the Knights, that's the nickname. They will kick off. Back deep for Westby is going to be number 7 and Anders Stockstone. And next to him is number 2 and Brady Mowry, and he's got some speed behind him too. Looks like kicking off is going to be 57 in Blake Lawrence. End over end is going to be short and fielded up front by Joey Ellefson, and he's getting near to the near side, up the sideline, and boy, a nice tackle down low. A bunch of dust goes rolling, and it'll be first down Westby after about a 30-yard return. Dan, I watched Joe Ellefson in track last year. Fast, but he never looks like he's really working. What a deal, huh?
I'm quite envious of those people who make running look easy. Never been a strength of mine.
Well, Westby will come out. They'll send 2 guys, both wide. That is Quinn Bergdahl, 6th near us. Stackstone's to the top, Stensling, and it looks like Mowry in the backfield. Mowry behind Stensling, looking for some space. Gets about 3 and pushed back. In there, 72, Jonah Driscoll. Assisted on that tackle by Caden Durr, number 3, and 57 and Blake Lawrence. Lawrence, a sophomore, 185, 5'9". There's compact for you.
Yeah.
Pickup of 3 for Mowry.
I know this game last year, Westby traveled down to Benton, and very competitive in the first half. I think it was a 1-score game going into halftime, and Westby kind of ran away with it in the second half. It might have even been trailing at halftime. I don't remember.
I think I do recall that now. Just I listened to the radio broadcast on that. Mowry again off the right side. He picks up about 3 more. It's going to leave 3rd and 3. They'll give him 4 actually.
Yeah, it's funny the things I remember. I have no business remembering anything about that game last year, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't remember what I had for lunch today, but
yeah, the things we forget at our age is a little different story, isn't it? 3rd down and 3, ball sitting on the 43-yard line for the Norsemen. Turn, give to the Stensling, the fullback. He's bottled up inside, but using the strength of his legs, he moves forward across the first down marker. It'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 39. Pickup of 4. So Westby sends 2 guys to the top, 1 wide, 1 in the slot. Straight drop back by Sutton. He'll just going to chuck it up down the middle. It's a little bit of a duck, and there again, just a defensive back. Didn't get turned around. That'd have been picked off probably pretty easy, Dan, but as it is, it'll go down as a touchdown.
yeah, I don't know if that's how you draw it up, but it's very effective. It was kind of a, who was it? Was it Dante Culpepper just lobbing it up to Randy Moss about 5 yards short, and it ended up being a touchdown more often than not.
Yeah, those won't come so easy later on in the year, but tonight, that's a good way to start. 10-20 mark, Westby touchdown. And the kick is up and hit the crossbar and went through. So Westby will lead it 7-0.
Yeah, it's like Benton has to kind of look like they picked their poison. I'm not much of a football expert, but they have one-on-one coverage out there on Stockton, and they're kind of stacking the middle. That's how they're gonna make Westby score, and it burned them that time.
Yeah, a lot of teams will do that. They're going to look to stuff the run, to stuff Stensling and the halfbacks, and that's just going to leave wide open not only Stackstone, but you've got Bergdahl on the other side, and he too.
Right.
He made a catch last week in the corner of the end zone where he went over the top. It reached back over the top of the defender, and just a great catch.
Yeah, quarterback's best friend, playmaking receivers, right?
Yeah,
and a running game.
That's right.
Sutton did do a nice job on it. He hung in the pocket and waited for it to develop and underthrew it a little bit, but kudos to Sutton for hanging in there and letting that play develop, and ends up with the touchdown pass.
Bendel, 56, Chase will do the kicking off. Back deep is 33. And Parker Mullen, and 21. And that's Trevor Andrews.
Tonight's contest brought to you by American Family Insurance, one of our longtime sponsors, along with ADRC, the Aging Disabilities Resource Center.
This ball's going to skip up in front of Mullen. He'll go to the right side, still on his feet. A nice return up near the 30-yard line, down to the 29. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights.
Today's game also brought to you by the Bank of Cashton, another longtime sponsor. Sure appreciate that.
Under center is going to be Caden Durr. One back behind him. Now comes in motion is Andrews. He's going to roll to his right side, throw underneath the 25, and that is caught by Nick Sanchez. And boy, nice job wrapping up on the tackle over there, and that's number 3. Is that 3 for Westby? Those black, Dan, the black numbers on the red uniforms give me all kinds of trouble. 21, that was Sutton.
I'm having flashbacks of volleyball where there's a lot of the same thing, but then we had a ponytail covering most of the numbers in the back. I really struggled.
Well, the only thing I can say is 2 and 1 is 3. One receiver to the far right. A wing off to the left side. Turn, give to the halfback coming nearest, cuts up through the middle, and a nice job again in there. Stackstone with the initial contact, and then once again Sutton coming and cleaning up. Quite a nice little pickup of 3. They had no lineup for the Knights, so I'm writing as I talk, and that's another thing that gets more difficult as time goes on. 3rd and 3. ball on the 36-yard line. And again, they'll hand off near side. Boy, he had some space, but cuts it up nicely into the middle. Picks up the yardage needed. He could have gone either way on that. Did a great job planting that foot and driving up the field.
I think he knew where he had to get, and he thought that was his best option there. He might have been able to get that around the end, but cut back and got the first down by a couple yards.
Well, that's what you want in your back stand. You see daylight, and you can squeeze out at least 3. Go for it.
Good vision there by the youngster.
Going to the top, Ryan Meyer, 6'3", senior. Looks like Benton or the Knights are pretty much a running team base. They don't put many guys in the pass pattern, do they? Again, they'll throw it into the flat to Andrews. Risky pass is all over him was Lucas Bendel. That ball would have gotten tipped just a little bit. Right behind it was Quinn Bergdahl.
Right, with nobody in front of him.
2nd and 10, ball in the 41. Pleasant night for football. Thankfully, the weather we've had the last 3 days, we're not yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But a lot of athletic competitions take place. 8:25 mark of the first, Westby up 7-0. 2nd and 10, inside handoff. And driving forward is 33, and Parker Mullen, just a sophomore, 5'9", 160. He was in there in that hole in a hurry.
Right.
Picked up 3.
So far, this first possession, Westby doing a very nice job finishing tackles. Not many yards after contact for Benton.
Gardner, Nate Friedland, Brett Stensling, and Lucas Bendel up on the line for Westby. Now coming up is Ellefson. 5 guys up there. Here comes the blitz. Rolling out to the right, and just getting the arm going in motion before being stuck by Friedland. Friedland, a sophomore, Nate Friedland. He was very impressive last week at Richland Center.
A good nose for the football. He timed that one perfect. Kind of a little, would you call that a little bit of a delayed blitz there, Dave?
Yeah,
he pretty much went in untouched and
he did. He did.
Play.
He kind of hooked around here to the near side as linebacker was blitzing on the top of that. Probably drew some of the attention.
Well, we'll get our first look at Stockton in the backfield to return this punt. We'll see how excited Benton is to kick it to him here, huh?
We'll see if they paid any attention to last week is what it is.
I'm sure they did. This day and age, it's hard not to pay attention.
And blocked by Bergdahl, and jumping on and covering it.
I'm not even sure Bergdahl blocked that, but he destroyed the blocker in front of him and just demolished that play. And big play on special teams early for the Norse.
Ryan Björklund picking up that fumble. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. 1st and 10, ball sitting right at the 25-yard line. Well, did they air it out right away, Dan? You'll strike quick after a turnover. Often you see that. You have Björklund and Stackstone to the top. Bendel to the right side of the formation. Turns in a give to Stensling, trying to get to the outside. And didn't even get back to line of scrimmage, a loss of 1.
You give credit to Benton's defensive front here early. They've held up really well against the Westby offensive line, and every yard on the ground has been hard earned for the Norse.
Yeah, that's Isaiah Santiago, Travis Wallen, Jonah Driscoll, and Max Wienen. The front 4 for this night squad. Again, now here comes Ellefson, looking to the outside, cuts it up nicely, now out to the outside, and gets past a first down marker inside the 15-yard line, pickup of about 12.
That was a nice run by Ellefson. A little juke about halfway through that run. He got him an extra 5 or 6 yards, I think.
Yeah, nice moves, good patience. Let the blocking develop in front of him and took advantage of it. First down, Westby, 6:45 and ticking. First quarter, they're up 7-0. Stackstone to the top. Björklund to the bottom. And again, give to Stensling. No, he's going to come around. Now he's going to cut up in the middle. Now he's got a head of steam going. And he's hard to stop when he's got a head of steam going.
Yeah.
Scoring from 13 out is Rhett Stensling.
That was a great cutback by Rhett. He got that linebacker just a little bit off balance, and you're right. Once he gets ahead of steam going, not too many safeties at this level are going to bring him down by themselves. And
I tell you, we saw a parade one in Richland Center last week. He was a sophomore, and maybe he was a $140 soaking wet, and he stuck his nose in there a couple of different times, and Rhett didn't turn out well for him, but he stuck his nose in there. And, well, Devin Brown starting out tonight with the hot foot, 14-0, Westby, 6:28 first quarter. They're playing against Benton, Scales Mound, Shullsburg Knights.
yeah, Bethel Home and Services, another one of our great sponsors, along with Bobby Johns there in Cashton and Cade Clearing out of Westby here, and Carmen Fortune. With Cashton Building Supply and Cashton Farm Supplies. More of our great sponsors. Very fortunate to have them.
I kind of wonder sometimes, Dan, how do teams end up playing each other? You know, how does a team from down in the Benton, Shullsburg area, and of course Scales Mountain, come all the way up to Westby? And often it's the connections along the way. And Andy Hulse, of course, coming from
Kind of that neck of the woods, yeah.
And they'd have been in that same conference when he'd have been in high school.
Sure.
It had been Benton, and Shullsburg had their own teams back then, along with teams like Highland was in there, and Potosi. Very competitive. But you also see, Dan, when you take a D3 team like Westby and you play a D6, D7 team, it makes a difference, especially in football. You see it a lot in basketball too.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to football, is just a different beast when it comes to divisions.
Yeah, numbers of players, and having depth is so important in football. And the smaller schools are kind of at a disadvantage. They just got smaller benches, and they're just less likely to have 5 big kids on the offensive line. If you got 2 in a small school, you're fortunate.
Yeah,
it is different, but at the end of the day, it's still a football game.
Max Wienen with the football and powering forward. Nice return. He'll bring it out to about the 29-yard line. Yeah, kids just want to play. And they got nine freshmen over there on the sidelines of the about 13, 14 reserves. First to 10, ball at 29. But you like to see, a lot of schools struggle with getting kids to come up because enrollment numbers are dropping. They go into the 8-man game, which is exciting in and of itself. But people prefer the 11, so it's nice to see that small schools can still find a way to go with the 11-man game. That pitch kind of behind 21 and Trevor Andrews, and he was not able to get anything going and be a loss of 1.
Yeah, I haven't watched an 8-man game yet. I have a couple of friends who have boys playing for either Kickapoo, Lafarge, or DeSoto, and I'm looking forward to going to that matchup, watch those boys play, and catch out an 8-man game.
I went several years ago, back in the 90s. I want to say it was Houston, Minnesota. Sure. And wow, I mean, it's a lot of skill players on the field that can really move. Second and 11. Ball on the 28-yard line. Turn inside handoff and stuffed. Was that play?
Yeah, if I recall, Houston, I thought it was 9-man or 8-man, 9-man, doesn't matter, but Houston, Minnesota, quite a run there, I think, of success in the
I think it was
8-man division or 8 or 9-man or whatever in Minnesota.
I
don't know what the difference would be, but, well, obviously one person, but I don't know where that person is.
Yeah, they had a lot of years. That was Mullins that was stuffed on that, or Mullen that was stuffed on that play. 3rd and 12. Ball dangerous. Oh, nice catch. Just got over the defender. Nice cut inside. And now here goes 33 and Parker Mullen, and trying to get tracked down by Bergdahl. And tell you what, that was a nice job by Mullen, Dan. He kept his eye on that ball and adjusted to it. It floated over the leaping Lucas Bendel, and right into the hands of Mullen.
Yeah, nice job finishing that run. I think the entire Westby defense was a little surprised the ball was going to get tipped up, or very easily could have been intercepted. But Benton returns the favor. Kind of gets a I won't say poorly thrown, but kind of a busted play that turned out into 6 for Benton.
Yeah, that I really, looking from here, I thought that was going to be picked off going the other way. But it wasn't. 77 yards.
Gonna go for 2 here.
Fired across the middle in the back of the end zone.
Executed it well. Nice job here.
Well, absolutely.
That's number 80 on that catch. Great pitch and catch there, Max Wienen. The 6'2" senior, and he knew where he was. He had plenty of room, jumped up, great hands, and Benton cuts into the lead. 14-8 is now your
Facing 3rd and 12, they were.
4:50 to go here in the first quarter, so a lot of excitement here in quarter number 1.
That play just a little mistimed by Bendel. He was in the right spot. He was in the right defensive spot. Just the ball kind of floated.
It did.
And like I said, Mullen, you could just see him adjusting to that. In fact, he kind of took a step to go around the backside of Bendel. So once again, 57 and Blake Lawrence will kick.
Coon Valley Telecommunications is another one of our great sponsors, along with the Daily Brew Company, as well as the Eagle Title Company.
.450, first quarter, 14-8, Norseman. End over end again. He's going to check up in front of Ellefson. He's going to bring it straight up the field, looking for a gap, and hit by 50 and Neil Mulliken. Another sophomore. Looking at this roster, Dan, interesting. There's just a quick scan. It looks like they have pretty equal numbers, almost like 6 freshmen, 6 sophomores, 6 juniors, 6 seniors on this team. I got about 8 sophomores. They're more loaded in the sophomore class.
Sure.
1st and 10, Westby on the 42. The ball sits. Stockstone to the top, stenciling to the near side. Timeout now. Westby as that formation when you have stenciling on the outside of it. I'm sure that wasn't what the intention was. So they'll talk things over here.
Now might be the perfect time to sneak over and grab some food from the concession stand being run by the...
Well, if you got nothing to do on September 9th, I believe it is, and if you're in the kind of the Westby, Berry Mills, West Salem area, I think that Fox Hollow has a band there playing. Dan, you know anything about them?
I hear they're all right.
The Tradesman. Yeah. Of course, Dan, a member of that. I was telling Linda one day we're driving, I said, I always want to call them the Dan Grass Band. It just sounds right to me.
Doesn't sound right at all to me.
I know it when sir, because that's the kind of guy you are. You like to stay in the back of everything. I know. I've known you long, and that's kind of how you are. And that's probably because you're so dang tall, you can see over top of everybody.
Yeah, maybe.
But for some reason, it just rolls off my tongue, the Dan Grass Band. But Tradesman is perfect too. Just a perfect name, and maybe that'll be my opportunity to finally come and see you.
I hope so. Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. It's our first venture into La Crosse County.
All right.
So I'm hoping for an opportunity for some of my maybe high school buddies to have a chance to come without having to drive so far.
Well,
we'll see how that stacks up.
When you finally get your pictures out of the post office of that county, that you can start going back in it.
Yeah, right.
1st and 10, Westby, ball sitting on the 42-yard line. Well, that should be a great night. Pass to the outside, Stockstone looking for some space, jumping to the outside, and just look how quick he is. 48 yards.
Yeah, he just weaved through about 4 or 5 guys. I don't think he ever got touched, Dave.
No, he didn't. Just a quick pass to the outside, and 42 yards later on the legs of Stockstone. He's
trying to come up with a way to describe how that kid runs. It doesn't. They say maybe it's just because it's so effortless, but it doesn't look like he's moving all that fast until you look at somebody else trying to catch him.
Right.
and he, that was impressive.
And the kick is through. So again, Brown is good. 21-8. Oh, everything going Westby's direction right now except for one play.
Yeah, I always think, Benton had a pretty long ride up here. Things aren't really going their way here in the first quarter. Still a lot of time in the first quarter, and Westby really has shown that they're going to be hard to stop. And the challenge I think for Benton now is to one play at a time, play football here and try to get better. But that all starts with attitude. If you start hanging your head just a little bit, you're just asking to get feasted on, I think. And
well, like you said, that's kind of the double-edged sword that Westby has now. You stack against the run, and they're going to hit you on a one. Anytime you have a one-on-one with either Stockstone or Bergdahl, it's just a play you want to get the ball, make a guy miss and go.
Yeah, with the weapons that Westby does have with Bergdahl and Stockton there, even if you decide you're going to try to take one of them away and maybe double them, then the other's left single cover. This is a balanced offense, I think, for Westby. I'm just from what I've seen here and what I read last week. They've got a lot of ways that they're going to be able to move the football, I think.
And we're going to find out in the coming weeks. Sanchez with the ball up through the middle. He's going, running hard out to the 30. Things will look a little different when it comes to teams like West Salem and Aquinas and Get, but the more reps you can get, the more plays you can get, the confidence you can get in the plays right now is going to pay off.
Well, with Westby, everything seems to be working, but I think you really got to stress execution.
Yep.
You got to do all the little things right, even though you don't maybe necessarily have to against a team like Benton, because when you do play West Salem, the little things are going to make a difference, I think.
Dewar with the fullback right behind him. He's going to roll here to the near side. Now he's going to throw back. Nothing there, and sacked on the backside by Ellefson.
Might have been a miscommunication there somewhere.
Looked like they wanted to run a screen out to the right side, and that just wasn't going to happen. And boy, tell you what, Dewar getting up a little slow as Ellefson put all of his weight on him on the tackle. Loss of 9.
Yeah, he's hurting. Probably a little frustrated.
Well, again, what you said earlier is it's speed. Westby has speed and strength, and there you just saw it. Second and 19, 3:37 mark. Still sitting in the first quarter. Again, he's going to roll, and that one's batted down, intercepted. Batted down by Ellefson. Boy, he had a series there. And picked off in the air. Looks like Friedland, number 15, the sophomore.
Wow, really impressed with the athleticism of this Norse team. They're not just making power plays, Dave. They're making athletic plays here. And
well, I think that is definitely their strength this year.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes on the floor, on the field. So Westby comes out. They'll bring Bergdahl to the near side. Stockstone will go to the top. Bendel, the tight end, on the right side. Stenciling on the right side of Sutton. And Sutton's going to keep it. There's another weapon we haven't talked about in the run game. And he's going to pick his way
really
into
close.
the end zone.
Well, he didn't get touched till about the 1 yard line there. A little quarterback draw. And
he's one of those kids I saw last week at Richland Center. He's getting comfortable. He never played quarterback here as a senior, but he's such an athlete. And when a play would be busted up or he got pressured, just his ability to move around. And once he gets his eyes adjusted, because he's moving like a runner right now.
Yeah.
So he's looking at the obstacles in front of him. Once he gets his eyes adjusted and feels comfortable taking some looks downfield, he'll see guys running all over the place down there.
Right.
Brown again with the kick after. 28-8 Westby.
Trying to get a peek over there at who's doing the push-ups, but going to have some sore arms by the end of the night, I think.
Well, last week it was Emma Kerner.
Oh, okay.
And she had, I think at that point, 32 to do, and she got a 30, and 30 was like a real struggle, and 31 and 32, she just popped right off. She must have been playing with him a little bit, maybe. Yeah, Dan, you're saying a long ride on a hot bus today. Then to play a hot team. Parents' night tonight. A lot of parents walked across the track, of course, supporting and encouraging their young boys out here. Band will play at halftime. We won't be able to bring you any of that due to regulations with Twitch. So we block out music.
And another sponsor, Effinger's Sales and Service there in Viroqua. Big thanks to Mark Effinger for his longtime support of Western Wisconsin Video Productions.
And over end is going to fall into the hands of Parker Mullen. He's going to go to the right side.
This is football season, Dave. I'm sorry, I should wait till the play's over. A nice run back.
And
pushed out of bounds.
I'm surprised. There's the flag. I saw a face mask as he rounded the corner. That's a real nice return. He has some deceptive speed.
Yeah, it's football season, and we just mentioned old good sponsor Mark Effinger. Is it snowblower season yet?
It's good. He hopes it is pretty soon, right? If he's got a lot on the lot, but there's a lot of snow last year too. He might not. Well, maybe it's lawn mowing again, Dan, because it rained.
Well, I tell you, yeah, it hasn't been much of that this year either.
I bought a new one this year, but I bought it from relatives who are in the business too. But
sure,
I was going to buy it like 6 weeks ago and just stopped raining, so I didn't. No need. Now things are looking green again.
So they're going to march this one up 15 yards, it looks like. So excellent field position for Benton here.
Yeah, whenever I go over to Effinger's, I'm just always amazed at the number of chainsaws. They sell a lot of them, they repair a lot of them, and
right.
Just piled everywhere. Also, U-Haul dealers. If you're looking to move or need a trailer to haul something, they can handle that too. 1st and 10. The Knights, Westby with a little jump up front and flags will fly. A little hard count. And that'll give them a few yards here. Gardner running in, number 5. Coming out, 64, and Aiden Teach.
Yeah, it's one of those things too when you get a big lead. You know, if I was coaching, and please take this with a grain of salt, I'm not much of a football guy, but even in other sports, you get a big lead, you don't want to start doing things like that. You know, you want to avoid the penalties. You know, and just play good clean football here, because you know those 5 yards are going to matter against teams in the Cooley Conference.
Give up the middle.
Big hit.
A quick burst for about 1 only, but coming in.
That was Friedland, Gabe Friedland.
That was like 4 with his hammer there, and that Gabe Friedland, the junior.
Yeah, boy, he tried to accelerate, but Friedland, he didn't give an inch.
5'10", 160, and he delivered that like he's won about 190. Second down, 4 to go. 2:43 here in the first quarter. 28-8 Westby against the Benton Scales-Mound Schulzburg Knights. Ball goes on the ground, and boy,
Westby's got it.
Grabbing in and pulling that thing out of it. It looked like Chase Bendel, and that's who it is. quick. His arm went in and pulled that ball back in a hurry.
Boy, Westby's defensive front just blew that play up from the beginning and ran into some traffic, couldn't hold on to the football, and
that's a good description of it because on the outside he had his pitch man, but he just couldn't get it out because of
no
the
time.
pressure.
I think maybe that's why the fumble occurred, as he was going to try to desperately pitch it, but there was just no time as Westby's front was in the backfield early. On the other hand, maybe when you're coaching and maybe you're okay with there's a high pass, he's going to got him, just overthrew him a little bit.
I'm take your shots. I'm not a big fan of that when you're 28-8 in the first quarter. Your timing is one thing, but just one of those. I'm not a big fan of it.
No, I don't blame you, Dave. But on the other hand, it still is the first quarter, and that's a play that Westby needs to work on.
You have to work on plays, right?
You start getting into the third quarter of a game like that, then I kind of start to agree with you a little bit more. But I think despite the score, each team should get to play a quarter of football.
Second and
work
10
on things.
Across the middle.
Pass.
That was just a great job by Bendel, setting down right in the middle of the field and fighting now for 11 yards.
Yeah, it was a nice job. And there was 3 Benton defenders right in that vicinity, and Sutton threw a strike, hit him right in the numbers.
That I can say I'm a fan of, because that takes timing.
Yeah, that's a play right there. I think if you can perfect it, that can move the chains for you.
Tough to defend.
A lot, yeah.
Especially when you got a kid who recognizes where to sit down in the zone.
Right, and a great throw by Sutton.
First and 10, Westby ball on the 46-yard line. Marching towards night territory. Mouthpiece fell out of Sutton's mouth. They'll put Stockstone in motion, and he's going to come up behind those running backs, dancing through the middle.
Flag on the play.
He'll go down. Flag did fly.
Threw that towards the middle of the line there. I wonder if we got a hold on the interior of the line. Yeah, and that's what it was. So that'll move the Norse back 10 yards, and we'll do first down all over again.
Zach Bjorklund coming in with the play, wearing number 4, the junior. Well, he likes to see a score like this. Zach is second-string quarterback. I'm sure he'd like a few opportunities, and why not, huh? 127 and counting here, winding out this first quarter. Westby up by 20. And here comes Stenson. Quick cut up the middle, now trying to bounce to the outside, looking for space, and boy, nice tackle by 21.
That was.
In Trevor Andrews. That's 220 going against 145, and 145 stayed in there.
145 stayed in there. I don't know, do they give heights for Benton? Because they do.
Nice pickup of about, looks like 27 for Stensling. Just a nice looking run. Did a good job cutting up the middle, bouncing to the outside. Yeah, he'd get ahead of steam going on him, and
well, and the defender there did a nice job getting low. You're not.
Here comes Mowry now, another guy with some speed, and spun down, still on his feet. Now driven down.
Nice job to stay on his feet there. Didn't get him any more yards, but it was pretty impressive looking how he was able to keep his knees and rear end off the field there.
Only picked up 2 on the play. Tell you what, out there was Dewar, I believe it was, number 9. And he just reached out with an arm when Mowry cut back, and he brought him right around. Good strength out of the sophomore. So that'll bring us down to the end of this first quarter. It's been all Westby. Through the air and on the ground with turnovers as well. Benton scales Mount Schulzberg with that one big play for 77 yards to put 8 points on the board for them. But it's 28-8 Westby after 1.
And another Another great sponsor for a long time, Embroidery and More. If you need t-shirts made, stop up and see the folks at Embroidery and More. And Gunderson Health in Viroqua, along with Lynn's Home Center in Cashton, and the Main Street Mobile Mart, another one of our great sponsors.
Or in this case, 4,024 miles away. The Northland hopes to find a public-private connection to help support fellow teenagers who are affected by the fires.
Well, the breeze starting to come through here. It feels nice all of a sudden. Let's look ahead here to Westby. Well, yeah, things will get interesting right away. West Salem, next week they're coming to Westby. That's a plus. And then the next week also coming to Westby is going to be Viroqua. They looked good last week, Dan. I went over there and watched the first half, and they look good.
They put some points on the board.
They did. They're young. They have a nice quarterback that did a great job stepping up in the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield, and they have a Zom kid over there that just lowers the boom. Sutton is going to fake the pitch. There's Bjorklund on the right side. There's a hold. And now he's going to chuck it up. It'll go into Anders' hands, but it's going to come back. That ball he was throwing to Bjorklund, and Stockstone came and just caught it on the run, didn't he?
Yeah, and
he came from nowhere.
He does such a nice job. I mean, we just timed that perfectly. Just got a real good nose for the ball. Unfortunately, that was all for naught, as Westby guilty of the hold.
So it's going to be first down now, and about 18.
Did you say next weekend, next Friday already is the West Salem game at home?
Said, yeah. I can double check that, but Benton, meanwhile, the Knights will play host to Fenimore. Again, he's going to roll over, throw underneath. And now it's Mowry. Mowry down the sideline to the 10.
Well, another nice overfield tackle there by Trevor Andrews. Saved 6 points there for the moment. But another really nice timing play there, and Sutton hit him just perfect in stride there. And Mowry runs so well that really nice pitch and catch for big yardage for the Norse. They're knocking on the door again just outside the 10-yard line.
11:31 here of the second quarter. Turn, give. Ellefson gets into the end zone from 11 out.
Hey, it's still early in this football game, but that Benton defense has been on the field most of that first quarter, and that front that it held up the first few possessions pretty well. I think it's starting to wear already to the size of Westby's offensive line.
And Brown again. 35-8.
good sign for Westby. He's 5 for 5. I'm not sure how he kicked last week, but he did a nice job last year, I remember, and off to a real good start. Always valuable to, almost never. Nothing's ever a sure thing, but to be able to kick those through, that's valuable.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan and Evan Björklund, brothers, they sit there on that offensive line. Junior and a sophomore, 210, 206. I was thinking about that supper table. Can you imagine that? Ben Rathel, the center for that squad or that team, offensive line, does a real nice job. So back again for the Knights is Mullen, along with Andrews.
Number 56, Chase Bendo will be kicking it off for the Norse, and back to receive 21 Andrews and 33 Parker Mullen. They're going through the crowd. They're selling those 50-50 tickets.
35-8, 11-14 mark, second quarter. This game started, Dan, that's 45 minutes. That was a long first quarter.
It was.
Here comes Mullins. He's going to try the left side this time. And he'll go out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Maybe a little soon over at the 34. Or again, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights.
Maybe it's too early, maybe it's rude to ask, but I forget what are the running clock requirements for
running
high school
clock
football?
is up by 35 in the second half, unless the coaches come to another agreement. For instance, the Knights coach could come over. Let's say Westby scores again and get up by 35-40. They could come over and even in the second quarter and say, let's keep it running.
Let's start it early. Can both coaches agree to not have the running clock? Or
that I don't know. I think that you'd be kind of a pretty good muck in the water if you'd say no to that, wouldn't you, if you're up by 35?
Yeah,
I suppose you could. You have to come to an agreement. You have to come to an agreement.
Just asking. I didn't know if it ever went the other way. Or
Yep, you have to come to an agreement. So, yeah, absolutely.
Here's pass number 21 is complete. He is tackled by number
And in years past, Dan, I know some teams and some coaches that probably would have said no. Back in the day when there were some pretty huge rivalries down there in the old field and the ball field. And here comes Mullen, and wrapped up underneath by Bendel. I'll pick up one.
number 33, Parker Mullen on a carry, tackled by Joey Ellis.
well, just kind of noting personally here, Westby really has not missed any tackles.
No, they're
really doing a good job with making contact, finishing tackles, not allowing extra yards.
When your defensive line can do the job they're doing, it frees up Bendel and Friedland at the linebacker spots to really pin the ears back.
Yeah, I don't know much about much, but that's got to make it really fun for the nice
play
there
against the middle to hit the big guy, and number 80, the 6'2 senior. And that'll be a pickup of 10 for a first down.
No, middle linebacker has to be a real ball to play when you're not getting touched until you get to the ball. That sounds like fun to me.
Right? First and 10. Ball in the 45. 9:18 of the second quarter. Just got that one off. Had to rush that throw. Thus, it was a little bit too far intended for Sanchez. Good pressure on the backside applied by Friedland. That time it was Nate Friedland. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think Dewar's got that internal clock going. He knew he had to get rid of that one because coming from the backside there, and it was now or never. He did manage to get rid of it, but couldn't make the accurate pass.
So 2nd and 10 for the Knights. Give up the middle. Now squirting free is 25 in Sanchez. A nice little quick hitter up the middle. Picked up 8.
And that was nice execution by Benton.
The Knights have shown they can move the football. Mistakes have hurt them. And then getting in 3rd and long distance for first downs has not helped them.
Right.
Now it's short distance, 3rd and 2. They've got a few things they can go to that have been successful so far. 8:30 and counting is the clock. And now, is he going to have a timeout? Yes, there are. Timeout. Want to look at some things there and make some changes after seeing the Westby defense.
I was just going to say, I think it's kind of important here for, if I were Benton, let's try to keep the offense on the field. Even if we don't get points out of it, let's try to, at least keep our offense out there for a while. Just try to get some first downs and give the defense just a bit of a break because they're getting worn down by Westby, and start looking to do just a few positive things if you're Benton.
And the downside of that is chances are that, I haven't looked, but I'm going to say 8 to 9 of those guys are going both ways.
Probably.
Somebody wants a big guy across the field. 6'1", 200. He's a freshman. Cale Holmes. He sticks out in the crowd, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
So does number 70. He's a sophomore. Logan Grunwald, 6'2". I wonder they have good basketball down there, Dan. They have a lot of big guys. 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'3", 6'2", 6'5". Now it's 3rd and 2 after the timeout. Sanchez sitting behind Dewar. And there goes the flag. Yeah, I'll tell you what, they talked about that in their timeout. That was a great job by the coach. They know Westby is antsy.
Yeah.
And that will move the chains. .25, 35-8 Westby. This has been a nice drive by the Knights. And a blitz up the middle by Westby. And getting wrapped up and brought down is Sanchez by Birkeland, Ryan, as well as looks like number 5 in Gardner.
That timing looked a little bit off on that handoff there. It looked like fullback wanted a little bit more of a quick hitter, and the handoff was delayed just a little bit, stopped his momentum, and that's all the Westby front needed to drive him backwards.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Now they'll bring 2 guys to the near side. And a quick pass outside. It's going to go to Mullins. He dropped it, unfortunately.
Call it incomplete. That was
kind of behind him. Was close. Yeah. Well, 3rd and 11.
I would assume if you're Benton, you're in 4-down territory. Here is your into Westby territory. Maybe they have a play design just to try to get a good chunk of this. A little over 10 yards.
Set the screen up and played really well by 54. And he's one of those phantom players. You always have a couple of those every year that we have to track down to. And they're going to say it was Teach in 64.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was trying to check my... Yeah, Aiden Teach did a nice job.
He's been in the weight room.
it looked really disciplined to me. Like, it looks like he could have taken those 2 steps forward towards the quarterback, but he kind of just held his ground there and was able to make the play on that short pass.
Well,
Didn't over-pursue.
Stay with it here on 4th and 11. Up to the top, they send Meyer. All by himself. Everybody moving there. There comes the flag.
Made a long 4th down, a little bit longer, unfortunately for
Trevor Andrews. Was about 3 yards down the field before the ball went up.
Worth a try, right?
Worth a try. So 4th and 14 now with the ball sitting out on the 46-yard line. I'll say nothing usually good happens there, and unfortunately,
Poor camera work. I didn't get the drop back, but he was going to just try to get rid of it. Ended up fumbling the football, and Westby gets even better field position as they're now in Benton territory at about the 48-yard line. Well, good to see Alex Luke on the coaching staff. Congratulations. Officially a first-year teacher here now at Westby.
Yeah, he's
Second year, I guess, but it's first official year, right?
Yeah, it's been turning the entire semester last spring, but yeah, he really enjoys working with the young guys.
Not gonna catch him. Lucas Bendel bounced off a couple of would-be tacklers initially, and Ben did not do a good job of wrapping him up, and Bendel made him pay as he gallops into the end zone for another Westby touchdown.
At the 6:08 mark.
Yeah, that one, Benton had that one played, and a couple of players hit but didn't wrap, and it cost them.
So Brown, and I'll tell you what, he's doing a great job kicking tonight.
Well, it's not too often place kickers get to get themselves in a rhythm.
Right?
But he's been able to do that. He's been pretty consistent. About every 10 actual minutes, he's out there attempting a extra point.
That we raised almost $300 in tropical relief tonight. Thank you.
Wow, nice job. There's a lot of money for tropical relief. Just an absolute tragedy what took place out in the Hawaiian Islands and Maui, right? We've had the pleasure of being out there a few times, Dan, and I can picture it all, and I just can't believe the pictures I see and what used to be there, right? And even worse, just the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people still not accounted for. 6:08 mark, 42-8 Westby, and that sits at 34.
Smile Child Care Center, located at the Our Savior's Lutheran Church there in Westby. They're a fairly new sponsor for us. Very happy to have them on board, along with Mitby's TV and Appliance and Nordic Lanes, along with Peck's Corner just outside of Cashton. Big thanks to our local sponsors of high school football.
Bendel will kick again.
Any
Mullins and Andrews back deep, or Mullen and Andrew.
Other teams locally here? Where's Cashton tonight? You know?
I don't know. No, I know Broke was at home.
Broke was at home.
I'm going to tell you who they're playing.
Sure.
Usually we have those schedules in front of us, and I was running late tonight as we were down in Madison and helping one of our guys get settled into the university for the next year. You know all about that. You got one in Eau Claire too now this year, right?
Not yet, but it's coming.
All right.
Yeah, that's where she's headed.
Returned there by Weenan. And with that hit up front was number 7, Tanner Hagan, along with 52 in Rifle. And Benton will have the ball again. Split behind Jor, and he's going to give it to the left side to Andrews, and he will lose maybe one. And that'll bring up second down. 5:30. Again, halftime, the marching band will come out. You stick with us, you'll see it. You just won't hear it. It has to do with regulations with Twitch, who Ken Manning, who has Western Wisconsin Sports, signs up with to bring you the broadcast. And the band is usually a pretty big highlight too. Nothing doing up front. Again, Sanchez.
And up goes to number 25, Nick Sanchez. He is tackled by number 34, Rex Sensley for the Norse. It is third down and 10.
It's a big third down, I think, for Benton. I don't think they really want any part of giving the ball back to Westby here in the first half. I think they were really hoping to move the chains a couple of times at least.
Well, they've rushed 14 or 13 times now for a total of 9 yards.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding for them.
Pass to the outside, and the boy just bounced in front of number 20. And gave
Tell you that couldn't see who got in coming in from the right side there. Somebody from Westby got in there untouched and maybe got a piece of that one, huh, Dave? It didn't look like it came out of the hand very well.
Yeah, it definitely was fluttering, wasn't it? So punting now will be number 57, Blake Lawrence, the sophomore. Penalty. Oh, they say he hit it. I'd get on that ball. I would not let Andrew Stackstone within grabbing distance of any football anywhere.
It looks like they were going to kick it to him. That's the second time they punted, and I think Westby has definitely blocked the first one. Looks like they got a piece of that one. Otherwise, we might have saw a penalty on that.
Definitely, yeah. So it looks like 75 going out for Westby. It's Evan Berkeland and Ryan next to him, 72. Rayful, the center on that line. Bendel and Brady Mankey. Is he out there tonight? I'll have to take a look. The right tackle I'm trying to get my eyes on. Sean Dolan, number 66.
Sure.
I think they might be cousins though.
Yeah, Dave, if anybody watched volleyball last year, though, I always know when I forgot my glasses because I can't see, and I'm a lot farther away now than I am for a volleyball game. I don't know that I'm going to be much help in picking out numbers.
Yeah, something about the black on the red, because Arcadia has the same thing, and it's always been trouble for me. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard gain. Now we'll go to the ground again, and here comes Mowry.
One man to beat. And he beat him. Another play where Westby got big time yardage and ball carrier never touched.
Well, Brown will go out again. And Brown's got it again. 49-8. Yeah, the Knights are gassed. Huge.
Yeah.
I think I'd be almost surprised, Dan, to see the starting team out there in the second half. I know years past, Andy's been good about that. Let the young kids get a chance. Here's a great game for let them work. Their parents are here for Parents' Night, and they may not see the field again this year.
Especially in this heat. Yeah, I mean, it is still warm and muggy, and I think their injury risk goes up a little bit when the conditions are like this. If you got the bodies tonight, I'd say use them.
I'm sure that will be a discussion at halftime. .321, second quarter. Westby putting 7 touchdowns on the board this half. Schulzberg or the Knights just the one.
Number 56, Chase Benton will kick off the North. Back to receive. Number 21, Trevor Andrews, and number 33, Parker Mullen.
And Bendel to kick off again. This one will go out of bounds.
All right, I'll bite and ask, Dave. I'm not sure what the rule is in high school. Does that ball go up to the 40?
I think they're going to bring it out to 35.
35, okay.
And that's where the Knights will take over.
The kick went out of bounds, so the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Knights will start. 1st and 10.
So Dewar will go back under center. He's been a man of courage this first half. Going to give it the outside to Andrews. Cuts up inside, picks up a few. Give him maybe 2. They'll probably just give him, I'll give him 2 on that carry.
Sanchez on the carry. He is tackled by number 21, Blake Sutton for the North.
That was Trevor Andrews around the left side.
He's had a busy night as well. He's been on both sides of the ball. He's been around a lot of plays.
Well, the Knights have the size in the receivers. They just don't have the time to get them the ball. Give up the middle. And just driving forward.
There again, Westby in the first half. They're doing a real nice job. Making tackles. I don't think they've really missed one all night.
That was Andrews again. Showing a little bit of strength inside there, 145 pounds. Third and 5, 2:05. And here comes Mullen around the near side and caught by Ellefson. And Ellefson spun him, and Mullen's still on his feet and was pushed out of bounds. I'll pick up of about 3, make it 3rd and a long 1 or a short 2. They're going to say just a 1, exactly a 1 now. That might have been the first time, Dan, we didn't see a wrap-up.
Right, I agree. Yeah, I kind of tried to grab him around the back of the jersey there, but fortunate there was three other Norsemen.
Sometimes just hanging on till the cavalry arrives, right? 4th and 1 now. 1:35. And nothing happening. Sanchez taken down right away by Bendel. And it'll be Westby football.
Is tackled in the backfield by 56, Chase Rendell.
And today's game also brought to you by Premier Co-op right here in Westby, along with the Riverbank and Rural Mutual Insurance. See what Westby does here with the final minute 19 of this one-sided half.
They're looking for guys to come out there apparently, and I need a timeout.
There's 1 minute, 19 seconds left to go here until halftime, and they will take a timeout.
Yep, missing a player. And I think the guy that walked out there strapping his helmet on, Dan, was the center. I'm going to have to look back at the replay on that. But
They're all important, but
he makes things happen from the get-go, right? He wasn't taking his helmet off. He was strapping it on and walking out there, and he's probably glad the offensive team came over to the sidelines. Jared Fleming came back, I think, last year, maybe the year before. Of course, he did a long-time coach here with the Lions. And, of course, he farms. He's a very busy man, but he's come back now the last few years, and he's a difference maker when it comes to that offensive line.
Yeah, I think offensive line was a strength for this team last year, too. Look, I hope. A couple of seniors that have moved on now, but I don't know much about much, but it seems like this year's squad looks the same. They really work well together.
Oh, my goodness.
And he got it. Well, Dave, I know what you're going to say.
Oh, I'm not going to say it.
Well,
Yeah, that wasn't good. I'm just shaking my head. I don't get it.
Well, I tell you what, let's talk
it.
about the play in itself. What a great throw by Blake Sutton.
Oh, yeah, right on the money.
And great hands by Stockton.
You do that next week, and I'll be impressed.
Yeah, for that. But, yeah, hey,
and that's just the way I've always viewed the game.
well, me too.
Just how I've always viewed it.
I agree with you completely.
That's no different than a team being up by 50 and doing a halfback option pass for a touchdown. And we've seen that before, and it's like I just don't get the point of any of it. Westby can't take it away from the kids, though. 56-8 right now.
Yeah,
that might have been say, okay, we have one more shot at this, and you guys aren't going to see the field the second half, but we'll see.
Could be. Well, I will take the positive out of it. As the first-year quarterback for Sutton, that was a real impressive deep ball he just threw.
Yeah,
there.
it was right. A nice tight spiral.
That tonight's game also brought to you by Scenic Bluffs Community Health Center, along with Sweet Valley Artisans and Valley Fudge and Candy, with Sealand's Carpetland and Sleepy Hollow.
Number 56, Chase Rendell will pick off for the Norsemen, and back to receive for the Knights, number 21, Trevor Andrews, and number 33, Parker Mullen.
So 53 seconds left here in a first half that's going to go over 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. And see the signal, some kind of a procedure penalty on that kickoff there, Dave? What do they call that? Is this offsides? Or?
Yes, yeah.
Somebody got a little antsy, I think, over on that far side.
Well, they've had plenty of practice tonight, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Bendel's leg might fall off.
One thing we haven't got to look at from Westby tonight is the punt game. I don't believe they've been in a, I don't even think they've had a fourth down, huh, Dave?
I don't believe so. Andrews, he's going to get this one 2 up short and just squirt through.
Oop.
And now the Knights just want to hang on to it. They don't want to lay it on the ground. Wilbur with the tackle. First down, give to Andrews around the outside. He's got some blocking in front of him this time. He'll pick up about 6, maybe 7.
Number 21, Andrews carries the football. He is tackled by number 5, Doug Gardner for the North.
7 carries, 20 yards. He's kind of been their workhorse. And he probably says, I'm not designed for that.
Right? Well, Benton doesn't be in too big of a hurry. You know, sometimes that first play of they got a good successful game. They might have got to the line a little faster and taken a chance, but they look pretty content to run a couple simple plays and talk about this first half.
And that'll end it.
Number 25, Nick Sanders.
So Westby up 56-8, and we'll come back here in the second half after this halftime is over. We got to cut our audio now during any music that's played. And again, that is Rules by Twitch, who Ken Manning and Western Wisconsin Video subscribe to bring you tonight's game.